It all started with a blurry screenshot, a grainy, dim image that screamed, "Don't stop scrolling." Except, there was something so familiar, something unmistakable about it. A crown tilted just so, a hint of salmon pink, and a figure frozen in a pose the internet had already burned into memory thanks to last year's infamous South Park worldwide privacy tour episode. Within minutes, the screen grab was everywhere. Twitter threads, TikTok loops, Discord servers, all obsessed with this leak. But oh, it wasn't just one frame. No, my friend, by midnight, fans had unearthed another piece of the puzzle, a rough animatic full of crude line art and placeholder voices. The watermark? It didn't match the first one. It was like the universe was trolling the royal couple, throwing South Park and Family Guy at them from different corners. And the memes? Oh, they were coming.
I'm here to tell my truth and make a shit ton of money out of podcasting, as I don't have any discernible talent.
This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in.
How do you stay at the top of the middle of your game?
Well, Pads, an early start's important, so my butler Perkins gets up at 5 a.m. and does a 10K for me.
Ooh, remind me to tell them the story about when I bought milk.
I think you just told it.
How do you stay at the top of the middle of your game?
Well, Pads, an early start's important, so my butler Perkins gets up at 5 a.m. and does a 10K for me.
What happened to your ring?
I gave it to the working people.
We're the working people.
Nutrition is important, so Perkins makes me a bacon sandwich in case Megs has made another one of her rank smoothies.
Wow, Harry, people don't know how tough you got.
Why did you bring that with you again, Harry?
You know, in case someone wants a massage, I'll do a few out calls.
What about television? Do you have a Netflix account?
Yeah, it's got about $9 million in it.
The South Park clip was classic, pure, unfiltered South Park magic. A yacht bobbing on waves and a lifeboat trailing behind, labeled as ever in swoopy, smug script. On deck, a character with bright orange hair, obviously meant to be Harry, fumbles with a trolley stacked high with pink rosé bottles, and that spotlight, it keeps shifting just out of reach. Classic South Park, mocking the couple's desperate chase for attention. But wait, there's more. Meghan stand-in lounges under a sun hat, the biggest sunglasses you've ever seen, holding up a script labeled Privacy Tour Sequel. Every few seconds, she's dramatically pausing her speech about setting boundaries just to yell at the camera crew to zoom in. And then, a seagull swoops down, grabs her script, and flies off, leaving her shrieking, "That was my narrative." And all the while, Harry's still fumbling around, trying to chase that elusive spotlight.
It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife.
And if you thought South Park had the edge, Family Guy wasn't about to back down. A leaked production sheet surfaced, revealing brutal gags aimed right at the couple. First up, a royal regretometer that tracks how many times you regret quitting your royal life for a Netflix deal. Ouch. Then came the Oprah flashback scene, vague enough to be clever, but the implications? Cutting. A giant rolled-up script titled Privacy Contract and a book called How to Win Friends and Influence Streaming Algorithms. But here's the kicker. The Prince of Wine mug on Peter's kitchen counter, nodding to Harry's spare memoir and the couple's small batch jam disaster. The references were spot on, sharp enough to cut through the royal family's glossy facade.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
So now fans were going wild. South Park and Family Guy both coming for Meghan and Harry at the same time. This wasn't just two shows roasting the couple, it was a spectacle. Fans were calling it a double feature. One leak after another, Twitter was on fire with speculation. Side-by-side comparisons of South Park's yacht scene and Family Guy's royal gags. The big question, which show would land the harshest blow? Would the couple's team even have time to recover?
Hey, thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
Back in Montecito, the Archwell team was in full crisis mode. Phones buzzing, screens flashing, and color-coded post-it notes marking the potential fallout. What would they say if both shows came for them full force? Meghan and Harry's PR team had two drafts ready. The first was polished, dignified, a perfect PR stunt designed for any situation that was within reason. But Harry? He was done with playing nice. His response was cold, calculated. One short, sharp sentence designed to stop the conversation before it could even start. The entire team was caught in a debate. Should they appear hurt or just shut it all down with a brief no comment? Meanwhile, the palace had a different strategy entirely. Silence. When the firm remains silent, it's not an oversight. It's deliberate. Their approach was far cooler, more detached, letting the narrative build while they remained completely absent from the conversation. It wasn't just avoidance, it was mastery. Their goal? Let the memes flood, let the jokes write themselves, and by doing nothing, they'd let the world decide how they were perceived.
So let me start with you, sir. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, When.
The double whammy of both shows dropping back to back, it was exactly what the internet had been waiting for. Fans were already timing it, counting down the days between the two. One leak popped up and the internet buzzed. The next one, pure chaos. One subreddit ticked down the days for South Park's air date, while over in the Family Guy forums, there was another clock ticking for their episode. The excitement, uncontrollable. It was like two separate bombs ready to go off, but spaced out just enough to maximize the impact. Family Guy would hit first, get the crowd riled up, and then South Park could come in and land the final blow. The entire fandom was obsessed with timing. The idea that these two heavy-hitting shows were battling it out for the last word? Delicious.
Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family like stupid, and then so are like journalists.
But here's the thing, the creators were in on it. Trey Parker, during a Q&A at a mid-tier animation festival, casually dropped a bombshell. Wait till you see what didn't leak. That single line, it broke the internet. South Park fans immediately went wild, interpreting it as confirmation that the yacht scene wasn't the worst of it. If this was the cold open, then what was waiting later in the episode? Meanwhile, on a podcast, a Family Guy producer joked about their cutaway cardio, hinting at even more royal-related gags waiting to drop. The floodgates were wide open, and the creators knew exactly what they were doing. As if on cue, fans started reimagining what these two shows could do together. Fan-made mashups of South Park's rough animatics with Family Guy's storyboard sketches. Twitter threads exploded with theories about the ultimate crossover. Cartman driving the as ever yacht while Stewie handed out rosé bottles. They called it the multiverse of mockery, and it felt like it could have been real. Parody accounts popped up everywhere, and the memes kept flooding in like a well-oiled machine that was only getting started. The fun? The creators were only making it worse. After Parker's offhand remark and the producer's little joke, it was like they threw gasoline on a fire. Both leaks weren't just getting bigger, they were evolving. The fandom wasn't just waiting for the episodes anymore. They were creating their own narrative.
So you hate journalists? That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
While all of this was happening, the mood in Montecito was far from festive. Word from inside their PR machine was that their team was bracing for impact, crafting two sets of responses. The first was polished, dignified, a perfect PR stunt designed for any situation that was within reason. But Harry, he was done with playing nice. His response was cold, calculated, one short, sharp sentence designed to stop the conversation before it could even start. The entire team was caught in a debate. Should they appear hurt or just shut it all down with a brief no comment?
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
But here's the thing. The memes weren't just about making fun of Meghan and Harry anymore. They were weaponized. Every frame, every reference from the leaks was dissected, reimagined, and shared across platforms, fueling the fire. The couple's brand wasn't just under attack. It was being remade by the internet itself. For Meghan and Harry, this was the most dangerous development of all. The PR damage wasn't just from what would air on TV. Oh no, it was in the way the internet had taken these leaks and run with them. The cartoons, the memes, the parodies, they were no longer in the couple's control. And once your brand becomes the butt of the joke, it's hard to recover. The deeper concern wasn't just the backlash, it was the long-term effect. Would people remember them for their charity work? Or would they only see the image of a yacht bobbing in waves, an animated rosé bottle, and a coffee mug labeled Prince of Wine?
What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy.
Inside the Archwell office, the conversation was shifting. Sure, they were tracking the public's reaction, but what really mattered were the metrics. Social mentions were up, but so was the negativity. The public wasn't just laughing, it was mocking. Every new meme, every viral clip pushed the couple further away from their carefully cultivated image. Some luxury brands were reportedly keeping their distance, delaying launches, and even considering inserting clauses to shield their names from the chaos. For the couple's defenders, this was just a temporary wave. They argued that any publicity was good publicity. But inside the PR team, the worry wasn't just about the short-term heat, it was about what happens next.
And you know what else? To hell with Canada! We are leaving! We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people! Come on, wife!
And just when you thought the roller coaster had reached its peak, the final twist was revealed. Timing was everything. The leaks, they weren't just random, they were a part of something bigger. The internet was alive, buzzing with anticipation. Family Guy's episode might hit first, but South Park? Oh, it was coming. And when it did, it might just land the final cruel punch. Meghan and Harry were locked in a race, not for redemption, but for survival. Would they recover, or would they be forever branded as the cartoon punchlines of 2023? It wasn't about the jokes anymore, it was about about what happens after. And for the royal couple, that was the scariest part.
We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside.
By the end of the month, the speculation wasn't about leaks anymore. It was about clocks, two of them ticking down on opposite sides of the internet. On one subreddit dedicated to South Park, the top post for a week straight was a fan-made timer set to the rumored special episode slot. Meanwhile, over in a Family Guy meme group, a different clock was counting toward the air date fans believed matched the call sheet's production timeline. The dates were close enough to feel connected, but just far enough apart to suggest two distinct detonations.
Well, it's an apartment, so.
Yes, an apartment palace, I know that. Lots of tiny palaces inside one big palace.
And then came the twist that set both fandoms on fire. Chatter that Family Guy might actually land first. It wasn't just wishful thinking. It came from a pattern some fans swore they'd spotted in the show's production-to-air pipeline. If that theory was right, the royal regret-o-meter, the throne of mics, and the timeline regret device could be on screens before South Park's yacht had even left the animated harbor. As the hype grew, the real danger for Meghan and Harry became clear. The memes had taken on a life of their own. TikTok was flooded with split-screen edits. On the left, South Park's yacht scene with Meghan's stand-in shouting at the camera crew, while a seagull snatched her script. On the right, Family Guy's royal regret-o-meter shaking every time someone mentioned Netflix. The clips were perfectly timed to a jaunty background track, turning two separate leaks into a seamless roast across animated universes. Instagram parody accounts went into overdrive, merging the two shows into the ultimate crossover. Fans were calling it the double feature of mockery. And once again, Meghan and Harry were caught in the crossfire, unable to control the narrative. The memes were faster than any PR team, more creative than any press release. And just when you thought the tide had turned, another angle emerged. The brand survival question. Was this viral moment really good publicity? On paper, the couple's name was trending, but the sentiment analysis? It wasn't pretty. Ridicule was the primary emotion, and that kind of mockery sticks longer than any feel-good story. Luxury brands started distancing themselves. The couple's high-end partners didn't want to be associated with a meme-filled PR disaster. A potential wellness partnership? On pause. The Rose campaign? Softly put on hold. The risk of being a punchline in two major animated shows was enough to make any brand hesitate. Meanwhile, across the pond, the royal family maintained their classic approach. Silence. No statements, no public reactions. The palace knew what they were doing. By staying quiet, they allowed the memes to do all the talking. They didn't need to lift a finger. The narrative was already being shaped by the internet, and the royal family wasn't going to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing them flinch. Final thoughts. The meme that won't die for Meghan and Harry, the worst part wasn't just being roasted. It was the relentless, ongoing nature of the meme machine. The leaks had become a viral event, one that went beyond TV screens and into the fabric of internet culture. Their brand, once focused on philanthropy and activism, had now been reduced to animated caricatures. And once your image is cemented as a meme, the question remains, can you ever really escape it? Can you ever really escape it?